Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to another video today. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be going over the non-liquidating and liquidating Sears and Kmart stores, which, yes, this map has been updated by Dead and Dying Retail finally, as of Thursday, June 15th, 2023. So with the closure of the Kmart discount department store at the Sunshine Mall in St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands, we are now down to 7 Kmart stores and 11 Sears and Roebuck stores. Combine both numbers together, and you get approximately 19 non-liquidating Sears and Kmart stores. So the countdown, guys, is continuing. So this is the list of the non-liquidating and liquidating Sears and Kmart stores. So we're going to start out, obviously, with the list of stores. And, yeah. So let's get started with our list. So the non-liquidating and liquidating Sears and Kmart stores as of Thursday, June 15th of 2023. So 7 Kmarts in total and 11 Sears and Roebuck stores, which is a total of, I believe, yeah, it's 18 or 19. I'm not too sure about that. Let me see. Yeah, 7-Eleven. Yeah, so it's about 18 remaining locations left. So, anyways, let's get started. So Kmart, Continental Mainland, United States. We have the Kmart store at the Westwood Plaza Shopping Center in Westwood, New Jersey. And sadly, this store is required to be closed on Sundays because of the Bergen County blue laws that prevent this particular Kmart discount department store from opening its doors. And it's also the last Kmart store within the entire state of New Jersey. And obviously, the same can be said for the other two stores in their respective states. We have the Kmart store at the Bridgehampton Commons Shopping Center in Bridgehampton, New York. And finally, the Kmart store at the Kendall Lakes Plaza Shopping Center in Kendall Lakes, Miami, Florida. And these are all Kmart stores, one left per state. So Kmart off mainland continental United States. We still have the Kmart store in Tallman, Guam. The Kmart store at the Sunny Isle Shopping Center in St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands. That's the last one in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. And then in addition to that, we have the Kmart store at the Tutu Park Mall in St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands, and the Kmart store at the Lockhart Garden Shopping Center in St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands, which is the last multi-level Kmart store left in the entire Kmart fleet. Now we get to Sears and Roebuck, but I'm going to be calling them Sears store for simplification purposes. So we have the Sears store at the Sun Valley Shopping Center in Concord, California, the Sears store at the Webster Town Mall in Stockton, California, the Sears store at the Whitwood Town Center in Whittier, California, and in the state of Florida, we have the freestanding Sears store in Coral Gables, Miami, Florida, the Sears store at the Florida Mall in Orlando, Florida, the Sears store at the Gardens Mall in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, the Sears store at the South Shore Plaza in Braintree, Massachusetts, the Sears store at the Newport Center Mall in Jersey City, New Jersey, the Sears store at the Cielo Vista Mall in El Paso, Texas, and finally the Sears store at Westfield South Center in Tuckalawea, Washington State. And obviously Sears off mainland continental United States, we have Sears Plaza Las Americas Mall in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So we have liquidating stores that will be closing this Sunday, which is Father's Day of 2023, and it's obviously all the small format Sears concepts in Far Texas, Lafayette, Louisiana, Fort Collins, Colorado, Overland Park, Kansas, and Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. And then the liquidating store that will be closing between July and August of 2023, it's the Kmart store at the Sunshine Mall in St. Croix, United States, Virgin Islands. So now that we've gone over the list of the non-liquidating and liquidating Sears and Kmart stores, let's go on the map that was created by Dead and Dying Retail, going over all the locations again to kind of get everybody back up to speed of what's going on with all of the non-liquidating and liquidating Sears and Kmart stores. So let's go from west to east, and we're going to start out on the island of Guam, which is a United States territory. So we have the Kmart store just north of the Antonio B. Juan International Airport, and again, it's the Kmart store at 404 North Marine Drive in Tallman, Guam. This Kmart has a lot of lasts. It has I believe this has a Kmart pharmacy. I'm not sure about that. Yeah, it does have a Kmart pharmacy. And also inside this Kmart discount department store, you have a Little Caesars Pizza inside the Kmart discount department store. And again, it's the Kmart store in Tallman, Guam. Okay, and the next non-closing store that we're going to hit, we have to go across the Pacific Ocean first because there's absolutely no presence of Sears left in the state of Hawaii. The next store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Westfield South Center Mall in Tukwila, Washington State. This is the last, and just by the way, it's east of the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. This is the last Sears store at a Westfield property and the last Sears store, respectively, in the state of Washington and in the Northwest Pacific region of the United States. And again, it's the Sears store at the Westfield South Center Mall in Tukwila, Washington State. All right, and as we make our way down the west coast of the United States, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's in Concord, California, just outside of the San Francisco Bay Area, and it's the Sears store at the Sun Valley Shopping Center in Concord, California. And I believe at one point this Sears store I believe this was the Broadway at one point. I'm not sure about that. But again, it's one of two remaining Sears stores that are left within the Greater Bay Area that are still operating to this very day. And once again, it is the Sears store at the Sun Valley Shopping Center in Concord, California. Now, if we go a few miles east, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's pretty close actually, and a pretty close distance at that. It is the Sears store at the Webster Town Mall in Stockton, California. And again, these are the last two Sears full-line department stores to be connected to a mall within the state of California, and both of them happen to be in the Greater Bay Area of California. So again, it's the Sears store at the Webster Town Mall in Stockton, California. All right, and as we make our way down the west coast of the United States, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the last Sears store in the Greater Los Angeles area. It is the Sears store at the Whitwood Town Center in Whittier, California. This is the very, 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 very last Sears full-line department store within the Greater Los Angeles area. And once this Sears store does close, there will be no more presence of Sears within the Greater Los Angeles area of California. All right, and as we make our way down the Sunbelt region of the United States, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Cielo Vista Mall in El Paso, Texas, which is just south of the El Paso International Airport. The main reason for this Sears store is still somewhat surviving and kicking. Sears Mexico is pretty much the main reason for this location. It's really pretty much self-explanatory. There's really nothing else to say other than that. But this is the Sears store at the Cielo Vista Mall in El Paso, Texas. The last Sears store within the state of Texas, because the smaller concept Sears store that was in Far, Texas will be shutting down this Sunday. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and go down, start out with the Virgin Islands. It's going to be kind of weird because now we're only down to one Kmart store on the St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. It's so weird not going to the Kmart over here, but now that Kmart is now going to be closing in July and August. So obviously with the closure of the Kmart store at the Sunshine Mall in St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands, or the Mall of St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands, the only Kmart store left on St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands, it is the Kmart store at the Sunny Isle Shopping Center in St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands. I believe at one point this did have a Little Caesars Pizza. This does not have a Kmart pharmacy, and it is now the last Kmart store on the St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands, and it's at the Sunny Isle Shopping Center in St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands. All right, so we're going to actually go ahead now and move to St. Thomas, because it is now pretty much St. Thomas is now the only place in the world where there are multiple Kmart locations. That's pretty unbelievable that St. Thomas would reach that milestone. All right, so the first Kmart discount department store that we're going to hit, it's the Kmart store at the Lockhart Garden Shopping Center in St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands. What makes this store so unique? It is the very, very, very last Kmart store in the entire Kmart fleet to be multiple levels. So that's what makes this Kmart store in St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands a very unique one at that, because it is the last two-level Kmart store within the entire remaining 7 Kmart fleet. And again, Kmart Lockhart Garden Shopping Center, St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands. And just a few miles east, we have the Kmart store at the Tutu Park Mall in St. Thomas, United States Virgin Islands. This Kmart, I believe, has a pharmacy. I'm not 100% on that, but it does have a Little Caesars pizza inside the Kmart discount department store. And again, it's the Kmart store at the 22 Park Mall in St. Thomas, United States, Virgin Islands. All right, so next up is Puerto Rico, because we have to go over the single Sears store that is there. And again, it's just a pretty quick one at that. It's the last Sears store in Puerto Rico at that, and it's the Sears store at the Plaza Las Americas Mall in San Juan, Puerto Rico, the last presence of Sears within the United States territory of Puerto Rico. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and move along. Dominican Republic. Go here, go past Cuba. All right, so the next store that we're going to hit, we have the Kmart store at the Kendall Lakes Plaza Shopping Center in Kendall Lakes, Miami, Florida. This is the very, very, very last Kmart store. So this Kmart has since been reduced to the old Garden Center space. It was redone in March of 2023, and the rest of the building is expected to be coming at home. This Kmart, unfortunately, is fortunately open due to a clause that is forcing them to keep this Kmart open until there's another tenant that does come in, take over the store, and then that is the end of Kmart within the state of Florida. So, but the Kmart store is no longer inside the actual store. They have since given up that space to At Home. But they are still operating because of some scope clause, unfortunately. But I'm sure soon enough someone will take over that space, and that will be the end of Kmart in the state of Florida. All right, so the next store that we're going to hit, we have the freestanding Sears store and the last freestanding Sears store left in the entire Sears fleet. It is the Sears store in Coral Gables, Florida. This is the very last and the oldest one at that. The Sears store has been here since 1955. It's one of the oldest left operating in the entire remaining Sears fleet. And it is also the last freestanding Sears full-line department store that is not connected to a mall that does remain in the Sears fleet. And it is the Sears store in Coral Gables, Miami, Florida. Now, they might be redeveloping the spot, but nothing has been confirmed about that just yet. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for that. So, the next store that we're going to hit as we go up the Florida coast, we have the Sears store at the Gardens Mall in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. And this is one of two remaining Sears stores left to be in a mall in the state of Florida, connected to a mall rather, but more so the last Sears store within the state of Florida to be connected to a mall that is more than one level. The Florida Mall is one level. This mall, the Gardens Mall in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, happens to be two levels because obviously we know the owners and operators are Taubman, and Taubman knows how to do malls very well. So again, it's the Sears store at the Gardens Mall in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. Okay, and the next Sears store that we're going to hit is in the Orlando district of Florida with Disney, Universal, and SeaWorld and all those other entertainment things. So, the next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Florida Mall in Orlando, Florida. This is the last Sears store in Central Florida. Once the Sears store does close, there will be no more presence of Sears within the state of Florida. And again, Sears store, the Florida Mall in Orlando, Florida. Now, it is so weird not hitting North Carolina because we're getting down to the remaining bottleneck of stores because the next closest store that we have to hit, it's the Sears, and only 4 stores remain. Wow, we're really getting down to the final ones. The next Sears store that we're going to hit, it's the Sears store at the Newport Center Mall in Jersey City, New Jersey. This is the last Sears store within the state of New Jersey and the last Sears full-line department store within the greater New York City metropolitan area. And that's pretty much it. So it's the last Sears store in New Jersey, last Transform Co-owned Sears store in New Jersey, and the last Sears store within the entire New York City metropolitan area. And that is saying a lot because that is pretty significant. All right, so the next store that we're going to hit, we have to boomerang quickly. We have to go to Long Island quickly because that is where our next store is. We have the Kmart store at the Bridgehampton Commons Shopping Center in Bridgehampton, New York. This Kmart was known as the Martha Stewart Kmart because Martha Stewart herself would make special appearances at this Kmart store because she was a frequent shopper, and B, she probably used to sign a lot of stuff there. I've said this many times before. I believe she has since signed on with Macy's, so she is no longer making those appearances. And obviously, with 3 Kmarts left, that would be really bad. That would be really bad for Martha Stewart. So again, it is the Kmart store at the Bridgehampton Commons Shopping Center in Bridgehampton, New York, and it is the very last Kmart store within the state of New York. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So. All right, so now we have to go ahead and boomerang back to my home state of New Jersey, and we're going right to Bergen. We're going right to Bergen County at that, because we have 2 more stores to hit. So we have the Kmart store at the Westwood Plaza Shopping Center in Westwood, New Jersey. This is the last Kmart store in the state of New Jersey. This Kmart store is sadly required to be closed on Sundays because of this thing called the Bergen County Blue Laws that prevent all non-essential retailers from operating on Sundays in Bergen County municipalities. That's every Bergen County municipality with maybe 1 or 2 exceptions. So again, it's the Kmart store at the Westwood Plaza Shopping Center in Westwood, New Jersey. All right, and now we get to the final store that we have to hit. And of course, it's the Sears store at the South Shore Plaza in Braintree, Massachusetts. This is the very last Sears store in the New England region of the United States, last Transform Co. property within the state of Massachusetts, and the last Sears store within the state of Massachusetts. So it's a lot of lasts. So again, it's the Sears store at the South Shore Plaza in Braintree, Massachusetts. Alright, so guys, that is every non-liquidating and liquidating Sears and Kmart stores, including the smaller format concept stores. Those will be shutting down on Sunday, and the Kmart store at St. Croix, United States, Virgin Islands, that will be shutting down between July and August of 2023. So obviously, should another closing arise, I will make sure to make an update video about it as quick as possible. So right now, that is where we stand with all the closings and obviously all the non-liquidating and liquidating information. The link to the list will be located in the description below, as well as the map created by Dead and Dying Retail. I want to sincerely thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed the video, and that will be it.